concept about universalism and how we can't assume that feelings from the past are really the same thing today. So Gal Beckerman wrote, "We assume that emotions in the past are accessible because we assume that at their core, people in the past were just like us, with slight tweaks for their choice of hats or their personal hygiene. But what if some of those core emotions and tendencies are really not applicable anymore?"
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a spin on anthropomorphism, like the idea that, you look at your dog and you think your dog has the same emotional life as you. Like he gets sad like you do. He misses you when you go out. He perceives time the same as you. But in fact, like that's a projection. Like we don't know what emotions feel like to dogs. Like we know that animals experience emotion. There's an amazing book called When Elephants Weep that talks about like what appears to be emotions in animals, right? And anyone who spent time with animals like gets to know a companion animal, whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, anything. You see that like they get scared, they feel affectionate, they feel pleasure, they get hungry, they are anticipatory about things, they get impatient. Like we have a whole range of emotions. But what we're doing is mapping our emotional experience on them and assuming that they experience things the same way. I think it's possible that earlier humans, right? And I don't mean like, primal. I'm talking about like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, did happiness feel the same? And the question becomes like, has our biology evolved and changed in terms of our neurochemicals? There's no way to know if my happiness and, someone in 1800s happiness feels the same. They're not around to talk about it. There's really no way to like measure that. Even my perception, like what I think is the color blue and what you think is the color blue may not be the same thing. We may have there's no way to prove our perception of these things, right? Because we can just identify them and say, okay, well, that appears to be blue to me. Okay, that appears to be blue to me. But are you actually seeing the exact same thing as me? It's very hard to say. So it's a very interesting concept. What I think is really interesting about this is I think Schopenhauer is the one who was talking about sort of the impact of technology on, and talking primitive technology at that point, but like we are primitive beings in medieval institutions with godlike technology in our hands. So we are an amalgam, a combination that has never existed. Like it's just never existed. And this generation, for example, of like young people now, they were never without the internet. They were never without social media. And we don't really know how that reshapes consciousness. I mean, look at children with iPads from the time they were very little. Like their attachment to that device is unlike what it was like to be raised and then given an iPad when you're an adult. Like it has changed their cognition. It has changed their attention span. It has had an effect. We are affected by our environment. And if evolution has anything to it, we affect our environment affects us. And there can be over the long term changes in the organism itself. So it's really, it's an interesting point. It's an interesting question. It's sort of the counterbalance to the idea that we need to understand people as, or actually it's like an amplification of the idea that people are